The inspiration and starting point for my space here at the show house came from actually a fabric that is now a wall covering by Lee Jofa. It's my all-time favorite fabric, favorite pattern, called the Tree of Life. The birds, the foliage, the pomegranates, and now that it's been introduced as a wall covering, I was so excited to debut it here in the States, this side of the pond. So the colors and the warmth and the textures from that wall covering are what inspired the room. Hey y'all, I'm James Farmer, and my design firm is James Farmer Designs out of my hometown of Perry, Georgia. We designed the dining room here at the Flower Magazine Showhouse. One of my favorite vignettes, and what we like to say is a moment. It's that salt on the chocolate chip cookie that kind of makes something really sing. And for me, it's some plates and platters on the wall with some beautiful gold leaf shell sconces. I wanted the room to feel like a young couple could live here, but maybe we inherited all of our great aunt's furniture. So how do you blend that together? So it's taking brown wood and beautiful patinas, mixing them with a little bit of gold and glitz from the past, and those great plates. We don't entertain and serve with those as much anymore, but they truly are pieces of art. So I love those little moments with the plates and the platters on the walls. But then one really fun kind of frilly nod were the art bows that are a tribute to one of the design legends and inspirations of mine, Mario Boada. And the art bows with the orchid prints and the plates, it just adds such a nostalgic turn, and that little moment was that salt on the chocolate chip cookie for me. I love to think about and approach flowers for my designs by being inspired by nature first and foremost. So the dining room has this fabulous large window that looks right onto the garden. So I used an actual outdoor piece from McKinnon & Harris, and the white, the crispness of that to me was reminiscent of white geraniums or white hibiscus, or the beautiful scents that will linger and carry on from the garden inside, but then how that collaborated and complemented all the patinas of the antique furniture. So the foliage and the flowers therein come from that inspiration of the garden. Bring the garden inside, flowers on the table, flowers on the wall, however it works, but those are always the inspiration for me in my designs. So it takes a village to accomplish anything like this, and there are several friends in the design business and industry who helped make this happen. One of my favorite folks to work with, Curry and Company, they provided the light fixture. And one thing about this particular piece is that we added custom chandelier shades to it and added a French blue velvet trim to the base. So it took a wonderful piece that Curry provides and then gave it a custom nod with the shades. My friends at Lee Jofa and Brunswick and Fee and Kravitz provided all the wall covering and fabrics, and so that mix of those tones and textures really gave the room that wonderful color and pattern. Dear friends of mine, whether at Fireside Antiques or Anissa Stewart's here in Baton Rouge, also Crown and Colony in Mobile, I really pulled from antiques that people in Louisiana would have access and pull from. So I love those pieces with the antiques. And then I also have to think about and acknowledge just the craftsmanship of our drapery seamstress. Julie is from Australia and she's trained in England, so when I wanted a jabot and a swag and a reverse reveal, she understood that classic method. So Julie and my team, my design team, they nodded, they understood where I wanted to go, and then they made it happen. Laura in particular in my office was the design coordinator for the event and just truly made it sing. But there was also a couple folks who helped me that were so special. My best friend George and his wife Kayla, they love Baton Rouge and they love Haystown, so they came with me, helped me install the room, and then we went on a Haystown house tour with some friends here. So it takes a village, but I'm so thrilled to have these villagers in my camp. So my grandmother always told me that we eat with our eyes first. So before there's a first bite, there's a visual feast. My friends at Replacements Limited sent me one of my favorite patterns, India Tree, and it's heavy and it has the deep umbers and the golds, but also that coral, that wonderful terracotta color that I love. And then I mixed it with Tiffany's Audubon silver. The birds in the wallpaper are also on the handles of the flatware. And then Replacements Limited also provided the stemware. So it's a mix of crystal and colored glass and those beautiful plates that we used on the wall and on the table from Replacements. Our friends at Fair and Ball, with their wonderful paint colors, caulk green is the color that we use for the trim on the windows and the trim in the room, but also on the ceiling. The ceiling is the fifth wall, so we love to treat the ceiling as a piece of art itself. It needs not to be forgotten. And so here in this room, with the voluminous height and space and scale of this room, the ceiling and that detail was a really fun notion to bring to the space. There are little touches that you can add when you are designing and decorating a room that also have the same place in fashion. And whether it's a button, or it's piping, or it's the reverse pleat. So from the window treatments to the buttons on the back of the chairs, it gives it a slip cover effect, but yet it's buttoned up and a touch tailored. So it's so amazing to think about these wonderful old school details and using them in a fresh approach today. And I think that's a wonderful way to celebrate classic design, but also contemporary living. One thing that was so fun about this show house is that we truly worked with friends. The designers in the rooms, either side of me and the back porch, they're all friends of mine, and they're people that we could text and talk about, and we could share inspiration on Instagram, and so it was so fun to see it come alive. This show house truly is more than just a show house. It was a collaboration with a lot of fun friends, with craftsmen and builders and contractors who really made it happen. So the flower team from the magazine standpoint, and then the boots on the ground here that made the construction happen, made it an absolutely blast, a fun process, and the whole neighborhood itself became a home away from home here in Baton Rouge.